Hey crafty friends, this is Angie Caney and my channel King's Treasures, and this morning I want to bring to you part of the May mystery box. Sorry, incoming cat. And in the mystery box was included this die and then these papers. And then there were some other embellishments and twine included, but for the moment I'm working with this. So I want to go ahead and use this die and also incorporate, which is still trending right now, the Matelasse embossing folder from Anna Griffin. This has been in my stash for years and years, which has actually encouraged me to go through my stash and find out what else I have. But for today, this is what I'm going to work with. And I have some gold foil here. And my plan is to cut out the die with the gold and run the gold through the embossing folder, and then I want to use this pattern here to use in the corresponding rectangles in here. And what I've done this once before, and what I did was I ran it through twice with the embossing folder, and then I fussy cut out the pieces, which I feel like was quite tedious. So this time around I'm going to cut out a piece and just cut strips and see how well that works. I mean, if you run it through your embossing folder, you're going to get these little raised, it's 4 little squares together, and I don't know if that's a particular pattern or not. You're not going to get that in this paper, the texture of it, but to be perfectly honest, I don't think you would see it anyway. So that is my plan, and that's where I want to get started. So let me start cutting. Good grief, I don't think I've had this much trouble just opening a die before. And then if you don't know this, when you're separating your die from your chipboard here, you want to pull the chipboard away just so that you're not bending your dies. Bend the chipboard. So first I'm going to use the folder. Where did I put the folder? Okay. And I have to say, like the first time I did this last week or so, I hadn't used an embossing folder since I got this Empress. So I wasn't even sure, like, oh, do I just pull? It's just your A plates. So A plate, embossing folder with paper, A plate again, and then just run it through. Ooh, but look at that. Isn't that pretty? So let me trim this down. And then I want to use the die also. So for that, I'll need my plate, magnetic mat, paper, and die. And I don't think this cuts out the center. I wish I could go back with this one Or I actually got the birthday concentric set for this piece right there. Okay, that didn't quite cut, so I'm going to go back and cut that. I need to get a new blade. That was awful. Okay, we had one here that didn't want to cut. Okay, so hopefully I fast forwarded all of that for you so you didn't have to endure. So let me clean up my mess real quick. Okay, and then for this, what I was thinking is that I'm going to have to cut this. If I plan on using these pieces going this direction, I need to turn this way. So I'm going to cut out, I'm going to have some waste. Hold on, incoming cat. Okay, so if you want to go in between the raised dots right there, that's about 3/4 of an inch, less than 3/4 of an inch. And if I knew measurements better, I could tell you that it is 9/16 of an inch. Okay, so let me show you what I've done. is that I cut a strip, but I cheated because I hate to measure. So all I did was line up and make a tick mark, and that's how much I'm going to cut off. And then you'll probably want to make a little tick mark again where you want to cut it. So I'm going to go off the page a little here, but then I can come back and trim it off the edge. So I'm just going to make a mark here and here. Okay, don't do that because that's going to give you waste. But because each one's going to be a little bit different. I mean, that would give you a start. And I'm going to glue them down as I go just because I know I'm going to bump something and something's going to shift or move. Okay, let me clean up my mess. And this is drying, and then I'm going to trim off my edges. But I think what I want to do for the base of the card is that I'm going to make this an easel card, and so I want to use this as my bottom piece, and then maybe, no, I lied, I take that back. I'm going to use this as my bottom piece. I'm going to cut one more die out of this. I was hoping those might just flick out. And I think I should have included that rectangle. So this is from the birthday concentric set. And that will just cut out the center. And then that way you're going to be able to see more of the pattern paper. And then this you can save for later, or potentially even cut out your stopper with that. I think this is 5 by 7. Yeah, so you can just cut out 5 by 7. So I'm going to grab the centerpiece out of this concentric set here, and that'll be my stopper. And to be honest, I wasn't thinking, and just using your trimmer is fine. But since this is a 5 by 7 card too, I could have just used this outer frame and run my paper through there. But I'll be able to get my stopper out of the piece that I just cut out. And then the last piece I should need to cut out is my easel. And I'm just going to use this scrap. It's not going to fit exactly, but it's going to do the job. So I'm just going to center it as best I can. Okay, so now we can come back and trim this off. Okay, so we can start building from here. And I think that looks really nice, right? You can see enough of the Matelasse through it and around it. So I would like to make this dimensional, but I don't know, I don't think there's anything skinny enough. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue it. Okay, now to carefully line this up. And then to add our little easel mechanism here. So I'm going to put the pattern facing out. There's nothing here, but you're really not going to see that once you lift it up anyway. So I'm just going to clip that and let that dry for a minute, and then I'm going to look for some embellishments for the front of the card. So this was what was included in the May mystery box. And there is a ton of embellishments here. And I don't want anything too big, because otherwise we're going to cover up all of the work we did there with the Matelasse folder. I mean, there are some really nice collage toppers in here, but I think I will just kind of work with a few smaller pieces. That, and we'll do congratulations. I'm going to go ahead and use my design sleeve for this one. And you can tell I made it just a hair too tight. And the purpose of the design sleeve is that you can remove the sticker back and then start placing down your embellishments. And then if you don't like it, you can just pick it up and move it without having to worry about whether or not you're going to tear the paper or the embellishment falls off your page. And I think I'm going to look for some kind of swirly flourish, which I know came with the kit. There might be something in here. And then I've been saving these. If you want to do a shaker card, here you go. I think we'll go with this. So you can just move that sticker off. And I don't know if these are stickers. Oh, they are. Nice. So if I put that right about there, maybe over here to the side a little more, and I can come back and add my congratulations and then stick the little shoes right there. I think that'll work without it being too much. And then I'm just going to put a couple squares down here just to kind of match the height of this trunk so that the shoes aren't sitting there all wobbly. Okay, now I can pull my card face out. This should be dry. I can go ahead and add some adhesive here. And I kind of like to do both. This is supposed to be permanent, but I find it's not always, whether it's the quality or just the heat in Arizona, I'm not sure. And then I'll do a little glue just to make sure. And I can clip that just to give it some stability. And then since these are all stickers, I can just move it as one. Well, he's going to come off. He doesn't want to play. Then you've got everything staying together. Come down just a hair before I stick it down. Okay, there you go. Now I just need to add the stopper. This is just for decoration, in my opinion. You could always stamp or add your own embellishment. And then you could always add one more thing down in here if you wanted. I think that gold pocket watch would look really cool. So you could add that right there, put your little message right here. And voila, you're done. Okay, with the exception of the tediousness of cutting our little strips in here, this comes together really well, quick and easy. I do like cutting the strips and gluing them on versus how I did it the first time where I ran it through with the embossing folder and then fussy cut out the pieces. That was, I feel like, more tedious. So go ahead, give that a try. Let me know what you think. If you've been using the Matelasse embossing folder, what you think about it. And then I'll take a couple pictures and insert them here so you can see it better, because it's just going to stand like this and it's kind of hard to see from this camera position. But and then I was also thinking maybe for those who can't get this folder, of maybe running through some gold foils. I have some gold and silver, and then maybe listing it in my Etsy shop for those who want to be able to get it. I don't know. Let me know what you think, if you would be interested, or if you think others would be interested in that idea. So, all right. I want to take the time to thank you for watching. If you're new here, if you would consider subscribing, I would appreciate it. I am working on building my channel over the summer. I'm at 1,500, but I would like to be able to get to 2,000. So if you could go ahead and give it a like and a subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. And I like to say it is free for you to do, but priceless to me. So until next time, happy crafting. Bye.